You're watching the SCAC Spring Media Days. Today we're taking a dive into the Centenary College ladies softball program. The ladies, of course, coming off a 20-22 season a year ago, 8-11 in SCAC play, coming up one game short of advancing to the SCAC tournament final. The ladies will once again be led by head coach Margeaux Suire, along with senior third baseman and pitcher Margeaux Smith. Coach Margeaux, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having us. We enjoy the opportunity to speak with you every year.
Coach, I'll start with you. Headed into your fourth season as the head coach, as you've sort of taken inventory over your first 3 seasons there, what have you learned in your time at Centenary, and how excited are you to get going again with respect to the challenges that lie ahead with the new season?
Yeah, well, I think that over the past 3 seasons we've continued to grow and get a little bit better every season. Every season has its new challenges and different things that come with having a new group of people together. But I think this year's team has really come together so far. We're still kind of searching out for an identity, but I think that we're getting a lot closer to creating our own identity that's unique to what we've had in the past. So I think in that aspect, we've really come a long way since the fall. I think the last 3 years have all been building blocks, and these seniors were the first group that were here when I got here, so we've kind of gained a familiarity. And there's kind of a way that we do things that's kind of become commonplace now that maybe wasn't there in the past.
Margeaux, for you in your senior season there at Centenary, you're a part of a big senior group. You're one of a number of athletes that have stuck around and been there for all 4 years, which I know is exciting. And for you, going into your last preseason and into your final year there, what is your mindset? What is kind of this seniors' mindset heading into this season, and how much are you enjoying this final preseason and getting ready to crank up for another year?
It's definitely a plus having so many returners and so many of us being seniors. Personally, being a part of the senior group, being able to watch every single one of us grow over the past 3 years is going to make this much year so much more enjoyable. We do have lots of returners, but the 5 freshmen we have welcomed in really are just going to add that much more to our team, and so very, very excited and very, very blessed to have such a strong group of returners.
For you, Margeaux, you're coming off a junior season in which you earned all conference honors, getting it done and being asked to get it done all over the diamond, not only at the plate where you hit 205 with 19 runs scored, 16 RBIs, and 18 hits. You also were asked to get it done in the circle, 4-4, your record last year in the circle with a 4.20 ERA. Just speak to what you've worked on over the summer and in this fall to continue to improve your game and make sure you're ready to go to start this season.
Obviously, you want to continue to improve physically. But honestly, I've worked a lot on my mental game and trying to be intentional and get better each day, and also being intentional with our teammates. And the better they get, the better I get, and then the better I get, the more I can help them. So really be intentional with our time and be intentional with each other.
Coach, you look at this lineup, you return a lot of experience, 6 of 9 batters from a season ago that had 15 or more hits on this team. With that experience that you get, what are you kind of looking for as a coach now that you have the experience? What are you trying to see in terms of that development for all your returning experienced players? What are you looking to see from them this season?
Well, I believe that one thing that we talk about every day is that there's no need to be perfect. And, when our girls come in and work every day, a lot of times they put more pressure on themselves than they really need to put on themselves. So we've kind of come up with this thing where we've talked about giving 80% and toning it back and not trying to give 110% or more than you can give every day. And I think that's gone a long way, and it will continue to go a long way to helping them understand that your past successes don't have to be something that you're constantly having to try to recreate, but just doing your best every single day and coming out there and giving a good, honest effort is always good enough for us.
Margeaux, as you look at last season, this team went 3-2 in the opening game of SCAC series. To me, that opening game is so important. Is that something that this team talks about and stresses about in terms of trying to get off, each series on the right foot and sort of set the tone? The team did a good job last year. How, much do you anticipate that being a huge key to success for your team this season?
I think the first game is very important. It sets the tone for the rest of the series. Honestly, for us, the biggest challenge is taking it one game at a time. So that first one, we know we have to come out strong. The second one, we got to think about the second one and not the third and the fourth that follow. It's something we talk about, but something that we know it's just kind of understood that the first game definitely has a lot of impact and power on the rest of the series.
Coach, when this team gets on base, you love to put pressure on the defense. 31 stolen bases in conference play, 84 in total on the season. Both of those numbers second in the SCAC. How much of that is your philosophy in terms of, creating chaos on those base paths and making defenses make plays? Do you think that'll be another huge part of this team this season?
Well, we'll have to see. Every year, like I said before, every year's team is going to be unique with different skill sets by your players. Last year, we were fortunate to have some kids that could get out there and really create havoc on the bases. This year, we're going to have a little different dynamic. We feel like that we can also run a little bit, and I like doing those things and putting people in motion and trying to put pressure on defenses. But it also has to go along with what your skills are and what personnel you have. So we're still, like I said before, we're still trying to create a personality for our team and an identity for our team. So that's one of those things that I think year in and year out kind of just comes with the flow of the season, and it's kind of dictated by what the game situations tell us that we need to do. And every team that I've ever had has kind of created its own identity as to what they do. And to say that we're going to specifically try to steal more bases, no, that's never the thing. The thing for us is always to just do whatever we can to make ourselves the most successful.
Margeaux, for you as someone who, as I mentioned, was called on for this team to do a number of different, tasks last year, wear a bunch of different hats, whether it was, at the corner infield or in the circle. How do you kind of balance that as you go through your training, go through your progressions throughout the season, and how can, being a pitcher also help you at the plate as a hitter?
It's definitely difficult to balance, but at the same time, like I talked about, being intentional with your time. If you can go out at practice and focus on one thing each day, then you're bound and determined to get better. So try not to focus on all three at one time, but maybe zone in on one at a time. As a hitter, definitely helps you being a pitcher, picking up pitches, but also more importantly than as a hitter, it helps me communicate with the pitchers on our team, being an infielder. So definitely just balancing the three, and being able to communicate better from batter to batter and pitcher to pitcher.
Coach, when you look at your pitching staff heading into this season, you return every pitcher last year that threw 10 or more innings for you. So you got a lot of experience coming back in your pitching staff as well. How do you anticipate this rotation kind of setting up for you this season? What excites you? What have you seen early on in the season that gives you confidence with this group heading into the year?
Well, I feel like we do have a lot of experience in the circle. We have had some injuries in the fall that's going to kind of change the plans that we had for the circle. We're going to have, there are 4 pitchers that we consider to be our mainstays for this season. 2 of those right now are actually not going to start the season in the rotation just because of injuries, but they will be back fairly early in the season, so we're looking forward to that. We've also had to have one pitcher who was formerly a high school pitcher, hadn't pitched since high school, will have to eat up some innings early in the season, but she's more than capable of filling that role, and we'll just kind of see. It's like everything else. We're just going to kind of see as things go throughout the season, and we'll hope for the best, but I think that the people that we have in place are more than capable of getting the job done.
Finally, Margeaux, to wrap things up with you, as you've looked ahead to this season and you and your teammates have had discussions about the goals for this year's team, what have those kind of discussions looked like, and what are some of the goals for this 2019 ladies softball program?
Obviously, we want to make it to the last day of the tournament. More importantly, we know that in order to do that, we have to take it one game at a time, one inning at a time. And I think as seniors, if we can leave these freshmen and sophomores and juniors empowered to continue the program and continue to set high standards and higher standards than the year before, then we've left and we've done a good job here.
And finally, Coach, to wrap things up with you, I know you've talked about sort of finding characteristics and identity, for the fans, family, friends that come out and support your softball program this season, regardless of the result, win or loss. What do you hope that they can really bank on as the season moves on? What do you hope kind of this team takes on in terms of an identity or characteristics?
Well, I think that it's exactly what we talk about as a team every day. We've got to learn to treat people on our team and in our school community as individuals and recognize them for what they are, and understand that at the end of the day, as long as we're all giving our best effort and we're working towards a common goal, then that's what athletics is all about at this level, I believe. Our girls have done an outstanding job of coming together and trying to create a real family atmosphere and make it something that they're proud to be a part of. And I hope when fans and family come out to see that they recognize immediately that this is a group of young ladies that really care about each other, and hopefully more than they care about themselves as individuals. And if we can do that, then we've been successful even before we've played a game.
Centenary College ladies softball program. Again, the ladies will head into the season under the head coach of Mark Suire, along with senior third baseman and pitcher Margeaux Smith. The ladies will open up the season February 4th against East Texas Baptist. Coach Margeaux, thanks so much for your time today, and best of luck as you head into the season.
Thank you so much for having us.